That said, we are in our map, spawning up here in the top left from Taste the Bacon. In pink, our Zerg player, Snake-Law. And his opponent here in the bottom left, from Gosu. He's taken 2 maps in a row. Can he take a third? Our Terran player, Caesar. So given the previous 2 maps, I would expect to see Caesar go into mech again. Wouldn't be a huge shock. I'm more curious as to where these players are going to take their first bases. Snake-Law is looking, he's going to take the outside natural. Not going to go for this gold base, which isn't a huge shock, especially against a Terran player who's been going mech. You just siege up and then suddenly you don't have a mineral line anymore. So unless you get a lot done with that base early, not going to happen. Kind of the same for Caesar. It can be really annoying to take this base. He could also do the cheeky build and then lift and then mine from both bases, which is totally worth it, I promise. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Anyway, for those of you who haven't been in here, this is it's the second week of the Validity Team League. It is an all-kill. It is a best of 7. The first 2 opening players for both teams were Platinum players, and then the remaining 2 players are Diamond players. So it is relatively close in level of play throughout the entire series, but there are 2 distinct levels that do play each other. And we are into the Diamond players for both of these teams. After these players, both teams have 1 more left. Don't really know who they are, who they possibly will be. We'll have to wait and see. Overlord getting in here for Snake. He is none percent afraid of a Marine coming out. Second gas on the way here for our Terran player. Actually 8 Lings on the way really, really quickly. Reaper is out on the map. Able to see some things happening at least, but the Ling should be able to do this pretty quickly. You may have to at least dance around with a couple of drones. Nicely done there. He does morph that into a spine crawler. Saved its life. Ling's going to chase the Reaper away for a little bit more. Speed on the way to be finishing up with our Queens now as Snake-Law finishes those up. And he's just fine against this Reaper defense. Natural finishing up here for our Terran player. He did go directly into Hellion production, which the Overlord has seen. It saw the switch over, it saw the add-on, it saw that there isn't a starport just yet. For the most part, this is exactly how Caesar played in the first game that he played, so the 3rd game we had today. Going directly into Hellions. See what he does with these initial ones. Hopefully he doesn't lose them quite as easily as he did in that first game. Overlord is actually under fire here, but with speed finishing up just momentarily and a lot of Lings on the way over across the map. There's no wall off to speak of either. So this could get quite a bit of work done. At the very least, it could force a liftoff. Again, it's a lot of Lings, but we do have 4 Hellions finished up now, so Caesar should be able to take care of this. He does go ahead and lift. Doesn't know exactly how much is on the way behind this. It is quite a bit lost. He actually lost some mules as well, which is really, really annoying. Losing 3 SCVs in the first place is troublesome, and he's losing all its mining time and SCV production time by forcing this liftoff here. Meanwhile, behind it, Snake-Law did take this gold base as his 3rd. Hellions here in the main ramp going to deal with these Lings just fine. And again, just a product of Caesar. Doesn't really know what is going on. Doesn't know if there's a lot more coming behind this. Hasn't been able to scan or anything. Kept this base floated for quite a long time. He has plenty of Hellions now, and we'll take care of that. A couple more factories to finish up here. No starport just yet from the Terran player. So there's definitely going to be more mech play from Caesar, which I'm a fan of. I actually tried playing Bile versus the Zerg a couple days ago, and it went just terribly, terribly, terribly. So, mech is easy to play. It doesn't mean you're a worse player, but it's a lot easier to play, for me at least, against the Zerg player. I tend to lose everything all at once when I'm playing Bile against the Zerg. So no shame here for Caesar. But he's just going to mac her up. Kind of one of the things I'm concerned about is when Caesar's going to be able to get his 3rd base, because in that first game that he played in this series, it took him a long time to get that 3rd base, And against a theoretically better player that we have here in Snake, he could punish him pretty heavily for that. Roach production has started, some more Lings as well. Lairs will be finishing up. It's a lot of Lings in production. This may just be for safety against any Hellions. Despite this base finishing up, there hasn't really been anything made out of it, so I'm not sure if this is supposed to be some sort of an all-in from Snake. He's still sitting at 38 workers, but Caesar's at 29. Not a huge difference there, but it is just a little surprising we haven't seen more workers created here by Snake. I think he's maybe just expecting there to be some sort of an all-in from Caesar, but there we go. 7 drones in production here, and it looks like they're all going to be going down to this gold base. He's probably just waiting at least for the queen. I'm curious to see what Caesar's going to do here. He doesn't know if this gold base exists just yet, so maybe he just waits to find something over there and sieges a few tanks, because what are you going to do? As a Zerg player, what are you going to do? Honestly. Spore Caller and a Spine Crawler haven't even made. It's got to be so annoying as a Zerg player to have to do that inside your mineral line. These minerals do go pretty quickly. He doesn't have a lot of drones over there. And Caesar is moving on the map. He's got a little bit of a force here. Actually, the army supply is rather even. There's a few Ravagers going to be available. Crew spread has been pretty decent. So Snake knows that's there at least. Actually, there's a couple of Hellions that were trapped. I think, yeah, this is a full wall. I think he hasn't actually fixed that just yet. So reinforcements are not actually able to get across the map, which could be troublesome in a bit. Caesar does scan, transforms into Hellbats here. He's probably going to siege up here. He does have 1 tank sieged already. He's going to move on up. 7 more roaches in production here. It's going to be really hard to get really anything done. Caesar probably can clean up some creep, but that may be just about it. Cycle, come home. So leapfrog tanks slowly but surely. But without this wall being put down, he's going to have a lot of units just trapped over here for a while. A couple Ravagers do go down. I'm having a little trouble dealing with this right now. Roach Speed did finish up. A nice little connection there from the Ravager on most of those Hellbats. And there's only the 2 tanks. Has he noticed yet? No, Caesar still hasn't noticed that this wall is still here. Which definitely is troublesome. There's only the 2 tanks. It'd be nice to actually have the 3 or 4 that he should have. Instead, there's a tank over here. There's a few Hellions as well. I don't know if he realizes that yet. Snake is setting up a nice little bit of a surround here. And the problem with this is the fact that the 3rd base is over here. If the 3rd base were here, it'd be fine. But now there's no real threat of anything happening too scary. Ryder's going to pop in, take out that back SCV, take out the front tank. Both of the tanks go down. Actually, the entire army, for the most part, goes down. Raven did get off the Disruptor missile, or whatever the hell you want to call it at this point. What is it even called? I don't even know. The fake Seeker missile, armor reduction missile. Here we go. Supply table does come down finally. But the 3rd command center is just now created here for the Terran players. 77 army supply to 37. Honestly, if Snake just moves across the map, could be difficult, but he should be able to get a lot done. I think he's happy just to stay back and continue macro production. Actually going into melee upgrades and adding on a Hydrogen. So he may be already planning on that Greater Spire transition. That'll probably come 10 minutes from now if we get to that point in the game. $56 workers to 43, so both players are still at pretty low workers. Of course, this gold base means you don't need quite as many drones, but it's still 56 workers are still pretty low. 4th hatchery is going to be taken here by Snake, so he should be fine in that department. 3rd CC did finish up for our Terran player. He's going to be mining the gold minerals, and eventually we're going to have a suddenly new attack path. Once these minerals mine out at both of these locations, suddenly you can just walk into the main base from this 3rd. But for the time being, both players are just kind of posturing around. Not a lot going on. Snake is just getting himself up to 200 supply, and he may attack at that point. Not really many tanks here for our Terran player. He only has 5. Keep in mind that he did lose quite a bit earlier. He only lost the 2 tanks, but he lost so much of the buffer. The 8 Hellbats that went down. That was rather troublesome. He's going to rock right into the army. So at least he knows where that is. I'm curious if this is going to spark Snake to move out. He's got +1 attack for both the ground and the range finishing up here in a bit. The range is a little bit of ways here for the Hydras. Is there nothing that shoots up right now? I don't think there is. Is he just going to go for this third? Actually, that's pretty smart. So he's just going to walk over to this third base, but at the same time, it means he has nothing back home defending this. 5 drones go down just about instantly. And yeah, we have a spine crawler here, but all those drones are going to be dead. The whole army is actually moving over here for the Zerg player, and he's going to kind of just walk into this, and he has to go up this ramp, which is really troublesome. I mean, just forfeit that gold base and go past the army, which is exactly what Snake is doing. He's like, I don't really need that base. I've got a couple more hatcheries finishing up. You can have your fun over there. Meanwhile, I'm going to go take out your entire production line and all your reinforcements. So Snake hella smart decisions here. Depots are down as well, so he's just going to walk right in. And there's nothing back home. There's no great way to get back home. He's going to have to walk through the army to get there. There's a Thor that finally finished up. Actually, he needs to siege these tanks, or this is going to be a really problem time for a Terran player. Missiles do go down, but a lot of them actually hit the Terran army as well, and it's just so much death is happening. Wrong directions. The entire Terran army does die. A lot of the Zerg army is really low, but there's not a lot left over to actually attack it. There's some Hellions, there's a tank, there's a Thor. That's about it. 170 supply to 80 here in favor of our Zerg. Actually, even is spamming biles on himself almost at this point. Last Thor goes down, and now there's just a couple of Hellions and whatever is going to be popping out of these production facilities. SCVs pulled up the line, which you never want to see. 13, 14 SCVs do die. And now the production is on death notice. And there we go. Snake will take the game and put Taste the Bacon on match point, up 3-2.